Have you ever noticed how Ben 10's aliens keep evolving? Over the years, some of his old favorites were replaced with new ones that share similar traits but come with upgraded abilities. Today, we'll take a look at how aliens like Heatblast, Wildvine, and Ditto transformed into Swampfire, Echo, and more. Let's get started. First, let's talk about Heatblast. Actually, Heatblast was replaced by two different aliens over time. Heatblast has pyrokinesis, meaning he can create and control fire, shaping it however he wants. He can also fly by using fire as propulsion, making him both a powerful and mobile alien. But as the series progressed, two new aliens took over his role. The first alien to replace Heatblast was Swampfire. Unlike Heatblast, Swampfire's body generates highly flammable methane gas, which he can ignite from his palms like a flamethrower. This lets him launch streams of fire or form fireballs, similar to Heatblast. While their fire powers aren't exactly the same, Swampfire took over most of Heatblast's fire-related abilities, but that wasn't the only replacement. Another alien that replaced Heatblast was NRG, a Pripyatosian bee from the planet Pripyatos in the Andromeda Galaxy. NRG doesn't control fire, but he radiates extreme heat and shoots radioactive energy beams from the vent in his containment suit. Even though his abilities are different, he shares a lot of similarities with Heatblast. Both generate high temperatures, both can fly, both can glow intensely bright. Between Swampfire and NRG, Heatblast's role in Ben's alien lineup was completely covered. Speaking of Swampfire, he didn't just replace Heatblast, he also took over the role of another classic alien, Wildvine. Wildvine is a Florona from the planet Fleurs Verdens and has chlorokinesis, meaning he can telepathically communicate with and control plant life. He can also extend his limbs, allowing him to reach enemies from a distance or wrap them in vines. Swampfire doesn't just use fire, he also has a high degree of chlorokinesis. Just like Wildvine, he can telepathically control plant life, making them grow and move with a simple gesture. When he uses this ability, plants around him briefly glow green, showing his influence. What makes Swampfire even more powerful is that his plant manipulation isn't limited to earth plants. He was able to control alien plant life, freeing Max from the failsafe and even manipulating the plants on Vulgaxia. Like Wildvine, Swampfire can extend his limbs, stretching his body to grab or attack enemies from a distance. Even Ultimate Swampfire shares similarities with Wildvine. When he evolves, he grows fire bombs on his arms, which he can pluck and throw as explosive weapons. This is very similar to Wildvine's spore pods, which contain different substances and can be used as gas bombs or explosives. So, with both chlorokinesis and explosive plant-based attacks, Swampfire took over Wildvine's spot in the Omnitrix lineup, just like he did with Heatblast. Next, let's talk about Stinkfly. He was one of Ben's go-to flying aliens in the classic series, but in later seasons, he was replaced by Jetray. Stinkfly is a Lepidopteran from Lepidoptera. He's highly maneuverable in the air and can shoot high-pressure streams of green slime from his eye stalks and mouth. This slime is strong enough to trap enemies or even hold up a helicopter. However, Stinkfly has some major weaknesses. His wings can't function when wet, meaning he's useless in water. Then came Jetray, an amphibian from Arapella, and in many ways, he's a huge upgrade over Stinkfly. Much faster, Jetray can fly at extreme speeds, even creating sonic booms and entering hyperspace, a faster-than-light method of travel. Can fly underwater. Unlike Stinkfly, Jetray is perfectly adapted for underwater travel and doesn't lose mobility when wet. Can fly in space. Jetray is even capable of space travel, something Stinkfly could never do. Powerful attacks instead of sticky slime, Jetray fires green neuroshock blasts from his eyes and tail. These blasts are strong enough to shut down an opponent's nervous system. With all of these upgrades, it's easy to see why Jetray replaced Stinkfly in Ben's alien roster. But what do you think? Is Jetray really better than Stinkfly? Or do you still prefer the classic alien? Let me know in the comments. When it comes to upgrade, due to being comprised entirely of nanites, he is completely amorphous. His humanoid form can reshape and move like a liquid does, giving him incredible flexibility and adaptability. I think that ability was trying to be replaced by Goop. Goop has the power of shapeshifting, allowing him to stretch, bend, and deform into any shape with ease. He can turn into a pseudopod protruding glob of goo, a stretchy, bouncing ball, and pretty much anything in between. But Upgrade has the ability to merge with and possess any technology by encasing his liquefied body over it, which Goop does not have. So technically, Goop is not a complete replacement for Upgrade. 4Arms was one of Ben's strongest aliens in the classic series. His enhanced strength made him a powerhouse, able to lift massive objects and take down enemies with raw power. But in Alien Force, he was eventually replaced by Human Gausser. Human Gausser not only has incredible strength, but he also has the ability to grow up to 60 feet tall, making him even more powerful than 4Arms in many situations. This extra size gives him a major advantage in combat, allowing him to take on larger enemies and cause massive destruction when needed. So while 4Arms was all about brute strength, Human Gausser took that power to another level with his size-altering ability. What do you think? Do you prefer 4Arms, or is Human Gausser the better pick? Let me know in the comments. In Ultimate Alien, Fasttrack was introduced as a replacement for XL8 since XL8 wasn't in the Ultimatrix playlist at the time. So, Ben had to use Fasttrack instead until Ben 10,000 unlocked XL8 in the episode Ben 10,000 Returns. It's been a huge debate among fans who is actually faster, XLR8 or Fasttrack. Compared to XLR8, Fasttrack has a harder time stopping if he runs too quickly. Other than that, they both have similar weaknesses, making their abilities very comparable. Did you know? Fasttrack is actually based on a cheetah. I made a video about 20 Ben 10 aliens based on real-life animals, go check it out. I'll put the link in the description. As you guys mentioned in my previous video, Brainstorm was introduced in Alien Force as a replacement for Grey Matter. Even though Grey Matter is technically smarter, Brainstorm proved to be more efficient in combat due to his larger body and combat abilities. Unlike Grey Matter, Brainstorm can generate and manipulate electricity just by thinking hard enough, allowing him to fight enemies more effectively. As a cerebrocrustacean, Brainstorm's cranium holds an immense brain, giving him supermassive intelligence that is too high to measure on a human scale. Technically speaking, his IQ is 10-1 nonillion. He can solve difficult calculations mentally in seconds and can visualize equations and object trajectories as if they're physically present, making him a huge asset in battle. Did you know? In Ultimate Alien, Brainstorm's electricity was yellow, but in Omniverse, it changed to green. Lastly, we're gonna talk about Echo Echo. This little Sonarosian from the planet Sonorosia didn't just replace one alien, he replaced two. The first alien Echo Echo replaced was Ditto, a Splixen from Hathor. Ditto had the ability to clone himself without limits through binary fission. Each clone was independent, meaning they could act separately and do multiple tasks at once. However, this ability was disrespectfully replaced by Echo Echo's version of self-duplication. Unlike Ditto, Echo Echo's clones work in perfect harmony, even finishing each other's sentences. Another major difference is that if most of Ditto's clones are destroyed, Ditto himself is fine. But with Echo Echo, as long as one clone survives, he survives, making him much harder to take down. Another unique feature is that Echo Echo can duplicate objects he's holding, which Ditto couldn't do. The second alien Echo Echo replaced was Blitzwolfer. By opening his quadrilobe muzzle, Blitzwolfer could create powerful, green, concussive sound blasts. Even though Blitzwolfer had other abilities, his sonic howls were his most iconic power, and that's exactly what Echo Echo took over. Even though Blitzwolfer's howls were stronger, Echo Echo could use his screams more efficiently. For example, Echo Echo's sonic screams can shatter steel, redirect projectiles in mid-flight, blow up multiple laser lances, even damage Titanite at the right frequency. But that's not all. Echo Echo also has the power of audiokinesis, meaning he can control and manipulate sound. He can amplify other sounds, create a force field using his sonic waves. Use sound waves as weapons through speakers and phones, one of his most powerful techniques. By combining his self-duplication and sonic screams, Echo can create a massive wall of sound that can destroy structures and enemies. An echo chamber attack, where his clones surround the enemy and scream until they're knocked out. Echolocation, allowing him to locate objects and people. So, what do you guys think? Was Echo a worthy replacement for Ditto and Blitzwolfer? Or do you prefer the original aliens? Let me know in the comments. From Echo, we are gonna end today's video. Comment down what was your favorite replacement. Do you think some aliens were better than the originals? Or maybe there's an alien I didn't mention that was introduced as a replacement? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for joining Hero Time TV. Subscribe for more videos like this, and if you have any requests, drop them in the comments below. Like the video and share this with your Ben 10 fan friends. Goodbye, and stay safe.